Chris, thank you so much for having us today.
Thanks for coming.
I wanted to start with Midtown. You guys are building a project on 56th Street. You must have a lot of confidence in the area.
Absolutely. So what we're building about a 95,000 square foot office building, 26 stories, right up west of 6th Avenue. It's a boutique office building, meaning that it has small floor plates. So the floor plates range from 5,000 square feet in the base to 2,500 square feet on the top floor. So full floor identity when you get off the elevator. It's going to be very, very special. We're actually in the ground right now. I think in general this area is very strong. It's become, kind of went through some ups and downs in the past several years. There's obviously some weakness on Park Avenue. I think the West Side, as everybody knows, the West Side Yards has been sort of a big attraction. There's sort of Manhattan has kind of been shifting to the west. Where all the big companies have been going. But in general, I like the area.
Now, Savanna is also doing some very interesting offices in the outer boroughs as well. South Bronx, in Long Island City, in Bushwick, Harlem. Tell me what's appealing about those areas.
Well, I think the boroughs have always been interesting, and I think over the past, several years, as the office market in Manhattan kind of heated up, or previous to that, the boroughs have become sort of a place where people are looking, as prices also on the buy side have gone pretty high in Manhattan. People have been pushing out, looking for better deals. When we buy, in general, we are very focused on transportation. So there are certain areas in, for instance, downtown Brooklyn, we have a big development site right on all the subways. I like that. We own the Citicorp building in Long Island City, right on top of 3 train stations. The Bruckner in the Bronx and the 3rd Avenue Bridge, right near the 4 and the 5 and the 6. We own a building in Bushwick, which interestingly enough is on the closer to the JMZ than it is to the L.
Oh, you hit the jackpot.
And so when we bought it, it was the old Schlitzberg, so we bought the building. The big knock against us was that we were a 7-minute walk from the L and a 2-minute walk from the JMZ, which is historically not nice. Well, turns out that we're looking pretty good being next to the JMZ.
Absolutely.
With a shutdown. But I would say the Bushwick market in general, that sort of secondary borough markets, it's also tough. It's slow. There are not as many TAMI tenants out there running around looking for spaces as everyone likes to make it seem. A lot of the high-profile TAMI tenants have gravitated towards the Dumbo, closer to Manhattan and transportation. And there's kind of a sex appeal to that. There's a little less sex appeal out in Bushwick. But listen, there's great bricks out there. And we're attracted to bricks, to good bricks and good transportation.
Is it the same story in the Bronx and in Long Island City, your projects there, in terms of who's looking and the projects?
No, the Bronx, it's a 170,000 square foot building. It was, when we bought it, populated by a lot of artists, artisans. It's a smaller tenant market. We've got some furniture makers. So the Bronx we thought would be more office oriented. We can do deals in the mid-20s. We thought there'd be a bigger pull because of transportation for people looking for good value in true office, but it's not so much. We haven't found that so much. But I can tell you that in Long Island City, and for the Citicorp building, Citicorp is going to be giving back either all or most of the building in 2020. So we're now ramping up the leasing for that. We hired JLL to do the office leasing, and the tenants there, we have a tremendous amount of activity.
Really?
Big tenants. We were very, very surprised. And then we own the Fauci building, which is about 15-minute walk away, in the factory district of Long Island City. The Fauci building is more mixed use. You have a lot of industrial people. The office component is also sort of a little of a mixed use with an industrial need too, because of the floor plates and the location.
How's your retail portfolio doing?
Well, it's a little interesting. We have, every office building we have has retail.
Right.
Typically smaller, so that's doing pretty well. The $250 to $300 a foot market. We have some standalone retail. We have a beautiful piece in the Meatpacking on 10th Avenue. It's 16,000 square feet, 15-foot ceilings, all glass, right next to the Chelsea Market. But it's slow. It's been vacant longer than we had anticipated. We have some good things going on right now with a couple tenants. We think we see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's been tough.
What's your favorite building in Savanna's portfolio?
My favorite? I love the Twitter buildings. We bought the Barney's Warehouse buildings on 17th Street between 7th and 8th. When we bought them, it's 280,000 square feet, block through to 18th Street, and they were vacant. When we bought them, all the tenancies expired at the same time. So we did a great renovation, and then we ended up leasing 80% of it to Twitter. And room and board took about 60,000 square feet.
Chris, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Max. It was fun.